Hello, welcome to FightCore USA.
I have always said this, and I will say it until I am blue in the face. Boxing is one of the most brutal sports on the planet. It is a constant chess match of attrition where two warriors go toe-to-toe with each other, trying to outstrike and outmaneuver their opponent. To be successful at the highest level of this sport, you have to be an incredibly gifted athlete with lightning-fast reflexes and an iron chin. But unfortunately, in this game of chess, time is not on your side. And as you get older, your reflexes begin to slow down, and that one straight chin becomes more susceptible to damage. We have seen some of the greatest boxers of all time eventually fall victim to Father Time. So today we will take a look at what happens when a boxer loses their shot. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, stay tuned for more updates. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our latest videos. No, Muhammad Ali was once the fastest man in the world, but time took away his reflexes and his hands could no longer bang like thunder. But do you ever wonder, how do you know when a fighter has lost their fastball? You can tell when they step foot in the ring that night. Their eyes don't have the same spark that they once had. As they are dancing around the ring, you can see the years slowly creeping up on them. But the biggest telltale sign that a fighter has lost their shot comes when they are stuck on the end of someone else's fist. In the world of boxing, there is nothing worse than getting caught by a big right hand. Being lit up by a big right hand is a sign of impending doom. Once the bell rings and your head hits the canvas, that is the kiss of death. Many fighters have been sent to dreamland by a single shot from their opponent, and being on the wrong end of a knockout blow is never a good thing, especially if you are older and closer to the twilight of your career. Sugar Sean Mosley was once a young, hungry prospect trying to make a name for himself in the sport. In 1997, he got an opportunity to fight a legend in the sport, Oscar de la Hoya. Mosley was young and confident. He gave De La Hoya all he could handle. But in the 9th round, Mosley would pay the price for his sins. De La Hoya would connect with a picture-perfect straight right hand that landed flush on Mosley's jaw. It was a beautiful knockout. Mosley was out cold before his head even hit the canvas. And that was the first time we saw the true meaning of losing your shot. Oscar de la Hoya wasn't just any ordinary boxer. He was a legend in the sport who was known for his incredible hand speed and power. So when he knocked out Sugar Sean Mosley, it was a sign that Mosley had just lost his shot. After that loss, Mosley's career went into a downward spiral, and he never really recovered. Floyd Mayweather was another boxer who was known for his incredible hand speed and power. One of his most famous knockouts came against an older and more experienced boxer, Manny Pacquiao. In the 10th round, Mayweather connected with a straight right hand that landed flush on Pacquiao's jaw. The shot was so powerful that it knocked Pacquiao clean out and ended the fight right then and there. That was a classic example of a boxer losing his shot. As the years went by, Floyd began to notice a decline in his power. And after the Ortiz fight, he knew it was time to hang up the gloves. But sometimes the sport doesn't allow you to walk away with your head held high. Sometimes you have to be forced out because you can't continue to compete at the highest level. Manny Pacquiao is a legend in the sport of boxing and one of the greatest fighters of all time. But as he got older, he began to slow down, and his reflexes were not the same as they once were. In his last few fights, Pacquiao has shown signs of slowing down and being vulnerable to knockout. His last two fights were against fighters who were younger and hungrier than him, and they took full advantage of that. In both of those fights, Pacman was knocked out in the later rounds. No! Many people believe that Pacquiao was already past his prime when he fought Mayweather in 2015. Regardless of what you think about that, there is no denying that his career has taken a downward spiral. Since then, his last 3 fights have all ended in defeat. And he has been able to win a championship since 2008. Some people believe that Pacquiao is still a top contender in this sport, but the truth is, he is a shell of his former self. He is no longer the explosive, hard-hitting fighter that he once was. And he is now more susceptible to knockout than ever before. Now, Floyd Mayweather may have retired from boxing, but he isn't slowing down anytime soon. Floyd is still considered one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. And he is still undefeated in his professional career. But Floyd has recently announced that he will be coming out of retirement to take on Logan Paul in an exhibition match. This has caused a lot of controversy in the boxing world, with many people saying that Floyd is just doing this for the money. But Floyd does and care what people think of him. And he is still considered one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. Now, let us take a look at a fighter who is still in the sport today and is showing signs of losing his shot. Canelo Alvarez. So Canelo Alvarez is widely regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world today. And he is the current super middleweight champion. But recently, Canelo has begun to show signs of slowing down. In his last fight against Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo looked like a shadow of his former self. And he couldn't put Saunders away despite having a significant size advantage. Now, some people are saying that this is just a blip on the radar and that Canelo will bounce back in his next fight. But others are saying that he has already lost his shot, and he is no longer the same fighter he once was. Only time will tell what the future holds for Canelo Alvarez. But one thing is for sure, he has already lost his shot. Some fighters are able to reinvent themselves later in their careers by moving down in weight class. A prime example of this is Manny. He started his professional career as a flyweight, but later moved up to welterweight and became one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Another example is Floyd Mayweather, who started his career as a super featherweight, but later moved up to welterweight and became one of the best welterweights of all time. However, this is easier said than done, because as you move up in weight class, the competition becomes more fierce and the punches start to pack more of a sting. When a fighter begins to lose his reflexes, it is usually the beginning of the end for him. As you get older, your reaction time slows down, and that once great chin becomes more susceptible to damage. When that happens, you have to hang up the gloves, because you are no longer able to compete at the highest level. Every fighter's career is finite, and sooner or later, they will have to face the fact that they are not getting any younger. But some fighters refuse to accept that, and they keep on fighting, even though they know they are improving. They keep on fighting, even though they are no longer able to compete at the highest level. These are the fighters who suffer the most, because they prolong the inevitable. Eventually, they suffer a devastating knockout that forces them to retire. When a fighter has lost his shot, It is important for his coaches and fans to intervene and help him retire gracefully. It is never easy to walk away from the sport you love, but it is important to do it while you are still at the top of your game. When a fighter has lost his shot, it's important to honor his past accomplishments, while also acknowledging his present situation. Losing your shot is a part of the cycle of boxing, and it is something that every boxer must eventually face. But that doesn't mean it has to be the end of your story. There are many things you can do after your fighting days are over, such as coaching, promoting, or even acting. So, what do you think? How do you know when a boxer has lost his shot? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our latest videos.
Okay guys, thank you for watching my videos.